Hey, what's up? It's SelfDev and welcome back to another video. So in this video, I wanted to talk about self-development, as I often do on my channel called SelfDev. It's short for self-development, obviously, if you didn't already know. And I wanted to talk about not self-developing because you have assigned yourself a personality type and you have learned and read up about the flaws and negative traits of that personality type, and you have seen that in your self, in your experience, and you have pretty much concluded that you are supposed to be this way, you are supposed to have those flaws, and there's nothing you can do about it. While it's true that there are some flaws that you won't be able to solve and that you shouldn't want to solve, there are also flaws that are not actually part of the personality type and that are more traits of an unhealthy aspect of that personality type. So you don't want to see this as an excuse to not self-develop, because if you do, then you will not be your best self. And that's a problem because you want to be your best self, obviously. You want to, ideally, what I'd like people to want when they're learning about personality types is they want to become the best versions of themselves that they can be. So really be careful about assigning a trait as something that is not developable when it actually might be. So I guess usually to solve this problem is you need to do enough research about your type, along with contemplation, asking questions, and all of the truth-seeking methods that you can do. So yeah, make sure the traits you are assigning as undevelopable, if that's even a word, I'm not even sure if that's a word, but that's the word we're going to use. Make sure these traits are undevelopable and not something that is just a part of one of the traits that is something that is only part of the unhealthy set of traits that that personality type has. So this is probably more common to make this mistake when you are looking at stereotypes rather than actual traits, if that makes sense. So you could think of maybe low TE users as lazy in Myers-Briggs, and you might translate that as, well, I have low TE and I'm lazy, and I've seen this stereotype of my type as lazy, so I'm going to accept that I'm lazy and just not really get anything done. Now, you are pretty much making a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you are going to just sit there okay with just being the lazy person. And what I would actually rather you do is you try to defy your stereotypes, especially if they are negative, and to not let you fit into the personality type when not everyone fits perfectly into these stereotypes of personality types. So you don't have to be lazy because you have read that a stereotype of your personality type is laziness. You don't have to, let's say, another example, if you are an SE dominant person, you don't have to look at the stereotype that you're maybe not very intelligent or not very thinking outside the box, and just accept that and just try to force yourself to fit into the stereotype that you are just moving around, chasing experiences, not really thinking about the future. So yeah, you want to just look at a stereotype, and even if they're positive, you shouldn't have to try and fit yourself into a box. All you need to really do is assign yourself a type, and then once you're pretty certain of what your type is, then if you continue to research it, and I do recommend you continue to research your personality type, you don't have to be like, right, or that's a trait I don't think I have, or I don't have enough of. I need to do more of it, or I need to not do what isn't on this list that I've created of traits of this personality type, because there will be certain parts of you that is not your personality type, and this isn't very clear, at least not to me, but there will be undocumented elements that aren't part of your personality type, and I'm not entirely sure what they might be, but just consider that if you read something that is mentioned several times about your personality type and you don't have that, that's not to say that you are not that personality type or that there is something wrong with you. That is just, it might be what makes you you, because we are not all the same. There is more than 16 types of people. There might be 16 personality types in MBTI, but they are not all the same. So if we divide the human population between 16, then each 16th will not be all the same in their own little group. I've noticed, the more I've observed several people of one type, the more differences I notice between them all. So essentially, you could say that it divides the human population into 16, and you pick out a type, let's say ISFJ. Then you can divide that type further, although as far as Myers-Briggs goes, that can't divide anymore, but you can see, if you observe enough ISFJs, you can see how one might be very different to another, and that might be level of emotion, or level of experience, or level of intuition. Like, they might have functions that are developed more or less than another ISFJ in the population. So, and obviously, as I've said earlier, there are other differences that are not just personality type. So yeah, to the main point of not self-developing due to seeing traits as something that you're supposed to have. You might not even supposed to have this trait. You might be mistyping your personality type this whole time. So just be aware of that, and just realize that not all low TE users are lazy. Some of them might be really hardworking. Maybe some are even more hardworking than TE dominant types. Um, and that's pretty impressive. So if you are one of those, then my hat is off to you, because that is self-development done very well. So well done. And yeah, if you're and SE Dom, then and you're super like intuitive, you party less often, you play sports often, whatever it is, and you are more asking questions and seeking answers, like someone who's high in intuition, then you are beating your stereotype, and you don't need to change that, because if you feel like that is supposed to be you, then that is all you need to be. So yeah, please be careful with traits that you assign as something that can't be changed, when maybe they can be, and probably they can be. If I can find out or research how exactly it is you can distinguish what is changeable and what isn't changeable, then I will certainly make videos on those. But at the moment, I'm not quite sure. I'm just saying keep an open mind about the idea of, is it changeable or is it not changeable? And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So if you liked it, please like, please subscribe, comment, share, click the bell. If you know anyone who you think will enjoy the content or find it useful, please share with them. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you have an awesome day and an amazing life.